Howdy ho, neighborinos, and welcome back to another episode of Second Martha with me, Karen. Happy Tuesday, everyone. And you know what that means. Here in the Second Martha kitchen, it means Pancake Tuesday. Now, this is usually where I would give you some kind of kick-ass recipe that we could both try and delight in. But it was brought to my attention after my last Second Martha Pancake Tuesday episode that perhaps we need to go back to the basics. Let me read you what I was sent by Sue. Sue wrote, I know you don't want to bore us with actually cooking the pancakes on screen every week, but I would welcome a cooking nice fluffy perfect pancakes lesson on one of your episodes. Well, Sue, never let it be said that I don't listen to you or anyone else on my subscription list here at Second Martha. I believe you are correct. I should have actually done this start from the beginning basics before I even launched into this. My apologies. So let me rectify that situation today. Today, I'm going to give you 5 tips for the absolute most perfect fluffy pancakes. Let's get started. By the way, I would just like to apologize for the glare and how bright I am in this video. I had started filming and it was actually quite nice and bright outside, and it flooded my kitchen with natural light, which is awesome. And then it got very dark and very rainy, and so now I have to resort to not exactly ideal lighting conditions. However, I digress. Let us move forward. Tip number 5, fresh is best. It's always best. Please make sure that all your ingredients are fresh. That means your flour and of course your milk. But unknowingly, most people use baking soda like it doesn't have an expiry date. It does. And in fact, most baking soda after 6 months old is considered very, very stale. So me personally, I like to use baking soda if it's 3 months old or younger. That means it is fresh and your pancake will rise to the occasion. Tip number 4, choose your equipment wisely, grasshopper. Not every little pan you have is perfect for making pancakes. And in fact, I found that the best thing to make pancakes is this lovely little griddle here. You can actually use an electric griddle. They work very well, but this one I found in an East Indian grocery. I will actually leave a link down below as to where you can purchase it on Amazon. Once again, not sponsored. I just happen to like this product. It's thin, it's non-stick. It'll make sure that the temperature is evenly distributed, and it will give you a perfect result every single time. Also, spatulas. Yours should be very, very thin. Do you see how thin that is? That means that you're able to get underneath the pancake without ripping it at the sides, and you're able to flip it efficiently. Tip number 3. Now, I'm going to upset a lot of you uber organized viewers out there, but I'm going to be very serious when I tell you this. Do not make your batter in advance. The temptation is there. I understand. You want to make your batter in advance on a Friday or a Saturday night so that on Sunday morning all you have to do is take it out of the fridge and go. Don't do that. There's reasons for this, and one of the biggest reasons is science, because of how gluten reacts. We're going to get into that when we actually deal with tip number 2. Leave the lumps. Now, I know the temptation is out there to beat the hell out of this batter like it's your job and make sure there's no lumps. No, don't do that. And here's where the science thing comes in that I was talking about in tip number 3. The fact is that you want to have lumps in your batter. You only want your batter to be, your wet and your dry, to be incorporated enough just so that it's mixed in, but not till it's beaten smooth. When you beat it smooth, you're dealing with flour here. And when you beat it smooth, your gluten is activated. And the more that the gluten attaches onto each other in its chains, the tougher and flatter your pancake is going to be. So one tip that I would like to give you, if you're concerned that maybe that you're going to have like these floury, lumpy bits in the middle of your pancakes, take a whisk, okay? And when you get all your dry ingredients together in a bowl, such as this, you're going to take your whisk and you're going to whisk them all together, okay? And you're going to get out a majority of the floury lumps, all right? I mean, I suppose if you really wanted to, you could sift your dry ingredients, but I think that's kind of overkill. So take your whisk it all together, all right? Then you're going to incorporate your wet ingredients. Okay, so I have my wet ingredients in here. I don't know if you can see this properly. And one thing I like to do is I actually use a fork. okay? I don't use a spoon, I use a fork, and I just mix it about enough that it becomes a little bit thick, okay? Lumps are still in there. Like I said, don't get rid of those lumps, all right? And now, I don't know if you can see this, if it's gonna give you a proper thing as I pour it all over my keyboard. See, lots of lumps. This is perfect. Then you're going to let it rest. That's right, put it on the counter, walk away for 5 minutes, go get your griddle and start to do a preheat. Okay, so while we're letting our batter rest, we're gonna turn on our heat source. And believe it or not, you're going to have it relatively low, okay? Fast is not best here, okay? We don't want to crank up the heat on super high. We don't even want it on medium. We kind of want it more on the low side, and we're just going to let it heat up. You'll notice that I haven't put any butter or oil on this. This is a non-stick griddle. You shouldn't have to put anything extra on there. If you are one of those types of people that think you should put butter, I can tell you one thing here. Butter burns very, very quickly, and it's not a very even thing. So you'll put your butter in, it'll pool on one side or the other. You pour in your pancake batter, and really all you're going to do is have burnt oil touching your pancake, and you don't really want that. Okay, so now that your griddle is nice and warm, nice and hot actually, you're going to take your batter, and I actually use a ladle. I find that it's an even scoop so that you can kind of measure out your pancakes. And you're going to take a big scoop and you're going to put it right into the middle and spread it out a little bit, okay? Like that. Now we wait, because the number one tip I can give you on how to create perfect fluffy pancakes is never flip your pancakes early. Too many people make that mistake. They end up thinking, oh, I should be flipping it right now. And they flip it and it's too white or pale on one side. It's not cooked thoroughly enough through the middle. You need to have patience here. You're going to be basically watching for the bubbles in the pancake batter. The bubbles will come to the surface and they'll break. Now, once you have a lot of the bubbles come to the surface and they break and then they don't fill back up with pancake batter, that's when you know it's time to flip. Another way you can tell that it's time to flip the pancake is look along the edges, right around the edge, right all the way around here. And if it stops being shiny and it looks a little more matte in color, chances are your pancake is ready to flip. Okay, so everything is what I thought it was going to be. You're going to take your spatula, one big scoop underneath, and flip. Okay? So you'll notice that we're a lovely golden brown. It's all nice and even. We flipped it in one motion like this, and it's starting to rise. Do not squish your pancake down ever. You're going to get yourself some flat-ass pancakes. So what it's doing right now is that it's rising. It's just like bread. It's just like cakes. When cakes are in the oven, they rise. You don't want to sit there and squish it all down thinking that you're helping it cook faster. You are not. Okay, and now when it stopped rising, okay, and you can tell that there's no liquid coming out the sides, you'll see that it's actually quite nice. It's like this. You're going to put it into a container. I usually put like a plate and a pot lid and keep it nice and warm and carry on. So guys, that's it. Top 5 tips to ensure perfect fluffy pancakes every single time. I know you probably thought there was more to it. There was more magic to it, but there really isn't. It is all about the basics. You want to have good equipment. You want to have fresh ingredients. You want to love your lady lumps, okay? You want to make sure temperature is correct. You don't want to flip too early. That's basically about it. So you see, I have my lovely fluffy pancakes. And I guess the final tip, really, I mean, you can top this with whatever you want. In fact, the Elizabethans actually preferred more savory pancakes, as they would put spices and rose water in their pancake mixes, whereas the Greeks and the Romans tended to like decadence, and they liked a lot of things that were sweet and honey drizzled. I'm a Canadian gal, and I kind of like pure maple syrup. Please don't bastardize your pancakes with absolute crap that they tell you is table syrup. No, it is table shit. Please don't put that on your pancakes, all right? Real syrup is the best. So if you don't mind, I'm going to dive into my pancakes. And next week, I promise we will be back with a recipe. Oh, before I forget, if you choose not to use the pancake recipe that I include every week in the description below, and you're just interested in the toppings, that's okay. You can use a pre-made mix like a buttermilk pancake mix or a plain fluffy pancake mix. There is no shame in your game, girl. You go ahead and do you. If it's easier for you to do that, hey, no problem. Just make the mix on the top with all the different toppings that we'll be doing, and you'll get pretty much the same effect. Anyways, guys, that's it. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, you know the drill. You can always email me at suckitmartha1@gmail.com. Links down below for everything that I talked about in this particular episode. You can add me on Snapchat if you'd like. And something I haven't said for a very long time, but guys, if you happen to be on Pinterest, so am I. Lady Safi is my name on Pinterest. I have, I think, close to 2,500 pins, believe it or not, on that site now. I even have a Suck It Martha board, so you can maybe get a glimpse as to what we'll be working on in the future. All right, guys, that's it. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you later.